Hello and welcome to Calm Mind, a place where thoughts are allowed to slow down. You don't need to make anything happen or arrive anywhere. Right now, your only invitation is to be here. Just this. Just you. Just resting. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw release. Allow your eyelids to grow heavy in their own time. No rush. Let's close the door on the day together and begin. Tonight, I want to share something that might change how you relate to rest. Something that might relieve the pressure you've been putting on yourself. Something simple but profound. Rest doesn't happen all at once. Sleep doesn't arrive in a single moment. It comes in waves, layer by layer. Rhythm by rhythm, like the tide slowly covering the shore. And when you understand this, when you stop expecting instant release and start allowing rhythmic unwinding, rest becomes so much easier. You might have learned to expect rest to happen immediately. You lie down, close your eyes, and expect your body to shift instantly from active to asleep. And when that doesn't happen, when you're still aware, still thinking, still sensing tension in your body, you might feel like you're failing, like you're doing rest wrong. But this expectation of instant release is misaligned with how bodies actually work. Bodies don't have on-off switches. They don't transition abruptly from one state to another. Bodies move in rhythms, in cycles, in gradual transitions. Like breathing, you don't go instantly from empty lungs to full lungs. There's a wave of inhale, a pause, a wave of exhale, a pause. Rhythm. Sleep is the same. It's not an instant transition. It's a rhythmic process. A series of waves that gradually carry you from waking to sleeping. And when you stop demanding instant release and start allowing rhythmic unwinding, your body can do what it naturally does. It can move through the waves. It can release in its own time, in its own rhythm. If these gentle journeys are meaningful to you, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a reflection below. It helps other restless minds find their way here. But for now, your only task is to relax. Tonight is about learning this rhythm, about discovering how your body naturally releases, about trusting the waves. Right now, as you lie here, waves are already moving through you. Waves of tension and release. Waves of thought and quiet. waves of alertness and drowsiness. You might notice a wave of tension in your shoulders, then a slight release, a wave of thoughts, then a moment of quiet, a wave of alertness, then a softening towards sleep. These waves are natural. They're how your nervous system works, how your brain transitions between states, how your body moves from activity to rest. The problem isn't the waves. The problem is when you don't recognize them as waves. When you expect a straight line from waking to sleeping instead of a rhythmic journey. When you notice tension, you might think I'm not relaxing. But tension is just one wave. Release will come. It's part of the rhythm. When you notice thoughts, you might think I should be quieter by now. But mental activity is just one wave. Quiet will come. It's part of the rhythm. When you notice alertness, you might think I'm never going to sleep. But wakefulness is just one wave. Drowsiness will come. It's part of the rhythm. All you need to do is allow the rhythm. Stop fighting the waves. Stop demanding they move faster. Just let the natural rhythm carry you. Tonight, we're going to explore this rhythm deeply. We'll understand why instant release is an illusion. We'll learn how the waves actually work. We'll discover the biology of rhythmic rest. We'll practice riding the waves, not forcing them, not resisting them, just allowing them to move through you naturally. And we'll learn to trust the rhythm, to know that even when a wave brings tension or thought or alertness, another wave will bring release, quiet, drowsiness. Because this is how bodies work. This is how sleep comes. Not all at once. Not in a straight line. But in waves. In rhythms. In natural cycles that you can learn to trust. So let's begin this exploration together. This journey into the rhythm of release. This practice of allowing the waves. Right now, notice the wave you're in. Are you in a wave of tension or release? A wave of mental activity or quiet? A wave of alertness or drowsiness? Don't judge whatever wave you're in. Don't try to change it. Just notice. This is the current wave. This is where the rhythm is right now. And know that this wave will pass. Another wave will come. That's the nature of rhythm. Nothing stays the same. Everything moves in cycles. So if you're in a wave of tension right now, that's okay. It's temporary. A wave of release is coming. You don't have to force it. Just let the rhythm continue. If you're in a wave of mental activity, that's okay too. It's temporary. A wave of quiet is coming. You don't have to make it happen. Just let the rhythm move. This is the fundamental shift tonight asks of you. Stop trying to control the waves. Start trusting the rhythm. Your body knows this rhythm. It's been doing this your entire life. Every time you've fallen asleep, it's been through waves, layer by layer, rhythm by rhythm. Tonight, you're just learning to consciously recognize what your body already knows how to do. You're learning to trust what's already happening. Let's begin by understanding why we expect instant release and why that expectation creates suffering. You live in a culture of instant messaging, instant results, instant gratification, everything fast, immediate, now. And this cultural conditioning has bled into how you approach rest. You expect instant relaxation, instant sleep, instant transition from active to restful. But bodies don't work on internet time. Bodies work on biological time. And biological time moves in rhythms, not instants. When you lie down expecting instant sleep, you're asking your body to do something it's not designed to do. You're asking for a switch flip when what's available is a gradual transition. And when instant sleep doesn't happen, which it almost never does, you interpret this as failure, as something wrong with you, as your body not working properly. But your body is working perfectly. It's doing exactly what bodies do, moving through rhythmic waves towards sleep. The problem isn't your body. The problem is the expectation of instant. So the first step is letting go of this expectation. Accepting that rest takes time, that it unfolds in waves, that rhythmic is normal, instant is the illusion. Related to this is the myth that consciousness has an on-off switch, that you're either awake or asleep, with nothing in between. But anyone who's paid attention to falling asleep knows this isn't true. There's a whole spectrum between fully awake and deeply asleep. Many gradations, many stages. Scientists who study sleep identify distinct stages: wake, N1, light sleep; N2, deeper sleep; N3, deep sleep; and REM, dream sleep. Each stage is different. Each has its own brainwave pattern. And you don't jump from wake straight to deep sleep. You move through the stages, wave by wave, stage by stage, gradually deepening. Even within wake, there are gradations: alert wakefulness, relaxed wakefulness, drowsy wakefulness, the hypnagogic state, that twilight between wake and sleep where thoughts become dreamlike. All of these are waves, transitions, rhythmic movements toward deeper rest. They're not failure. They're not still awake, not asleep yet. They're the natural process. When you understand this, you stop judging the in-between states. You stop seeing drowsiness as not sleep yet and start seeing it as a wave toward sleep. You stop resisting the natural rhythm. The expectation of instant creates pressure, urgency, a sense that if you don't fall asleep quickly, something's wrong. This pressure activates your stress response, your sympathetic nervous system, the very system that needs to quiet for sleep to come. So the pressure to fall asleep quickly actually prevents sleep. It creates the arousal that blocks rest. It fights against the natural rhythm. And this creates a terrible cycle. You expect instant sleep. It doesn't happen. You get anxious about not sleeping. The anxiety prevents sleep. You get more anxious, and so on. Breaking this cycle requires releasing the pressure, accepting that sleep takes as long as it takes, that it unfolds in its own rhythm, in its own time. When you release the pressure, when you stop demanding instant and start allowing gradual, the stress response quiets. The sympathetic system settles, and the natural rhythm of release can proceed. This doesn't mean sleep happens instantly once you release pressure. It means sleep can happen naturally, moving through whatever waves and rhythms your particular body needs tonight. You might also create pressure by comparing yourself to others. Other people fall asleep instantly. Why can't I? But this comparison is usually based on misperception. People who seem to fall asleep instantly are still moving through waves. You just don't see their process. And even if some people do transition faster, that doesn't mean your rhythm is wrong. Bodies are different. Some people have faster rhythms, some slower. Neither is better or worse. Your rhythm is your rhythm, and it might be different on different nights. Some nights the waves might move quickly, some nights more slowly. Both are okay. Comparing yourself to others, or even to yourself on other nights, just creates more pressure, more judgment, more resistance to what's actually happening. What if instead you approached tonight with curiosity? What's my rhythm tonight? How are the waves moving for me right now? No comparison, no judgment, just observation. This curiosity releases pressure. It creates space for whatever rhythm is actually present. And that space is where natural release can occur. Here's something interesting. Sometimes when you're most exhausted, rest takes longer to come. This seems paradoxical but makes sense when you understand rhythms. When you're exhausted, your nervous system is often dysregulated. The normal rhythms are disrupted. The waves might be more chaotic, less smooth. So even though you desperately need rest, your body needs more time to regulate, more waves to settle the system, more rhythm to restore normal function. If you expect instant rest when exhausted, you'll be frustrated. But if you understand that exhaustion might require more waves, longer rhythm, you can allow the time needed. This is why sometimes, paradoxically, you fall asleep faster when you're moderately tired than when you're completely exhausted. Moderate tiredness means regulated rhythms. Complete exhaustion might mean disrupted rhythms that need more time to settle. So if you're lying here exhausted but not instantly sleeping, don't panic. Your body needs the waves. It needs the time. Allow the rhythm to do its restoring work. Once you release the expectation of instant, you can discover the gift of gradual, the beauty of the waves, the gentleness of rhythmic release. Instant is jarring. It's a shock, like jumping into cold water versus wading in slowly. Gradual is kinder, gentler. It gives your system time to adjust. The waves of release are your body's wisdom. Each wave lets go of a little more tension, quiets the mind a little more, deepens the rest incrementally. And because it's gradual, It's sustainable. Instant might seem appealing, but gradual is what allows truly deep rest, because each wave builds on the previous one. Think of it like waves on the shore. Each wave comes in a little further. Each wave smooths the sand a little more. Layer by layer, the tide transforms the beach. Your body is like the shore. Each wave of release comes in a little deeper. Each wave smooths your nervous system a little more. Layer by layer, the rhythm transforms your state. This is the gift of gradual. It's not fast, but it's thorough. It's not instant, but it's complete. It's not dramatic, but it's profound. Now let's look closely at what these waves actually are. What's happening in each wave? How the rhythm actually unfolds. The most basic wave is the oscillation between tension and release in your muscles. This happens continuously, even when you're trying to relax. You might notice a muscle tensing, maybe your shoulders rising, or your jaw clenching, or your hands making fists. This is one wave, the wave of holding. Then, after some time, you might notice that same muscle releasing, the shoulders dropping, the jaw unclenching, the hands opening. This is the other wave, the wave of letting go. These waves continue throughout the process of falling asleep. You don't release all tension at once. You release in waves. Hold, release, hold, release. Gradually, the releases get deeper and the holdings get shorter. This is your body's natural rhythm. It can't let go all at once. It needs the rhythm of tensing and releasing, like a muscle can't stay contracted forever. It has to cycle between contraction and relaxation. When you understand this, you stop being frustrated by the moments of tension. You recognize them as one wave in the rhythm. Release will come. It's part of the natural cycle. You can even work with this rhythm. When you notice tension, instead of fighting it, you can exaggerate it slightly, tense a bit more, and then let it release. This partners with your body's natural wave. Your mind also moves in waves. Waves of mental activity alternating with waves of quiet. You might have a rush of thoughts, planning, remembering, worrying. This is one wave, the wave of mental activity. Then the thoughts might slow. Spaces might open between them. You might have a moment of mental quiet. This is the other wave, the wave of stillness. As you move towards sleep, these waves change character. The active waves become shorter and less intense. The quiet waves become longer and deeper, but both continue to alternate. And even in deep sleep, mental activity doesn't disappear. You have dreams, periods of REM where the brain is very active. But these are different waves, dream waves rather than thought waves. The key is not to judge the thought waves as bad or the quiet waves as good. They're both part of the natural rhythm. The thought waves will naturally diminish as you move towards sleep. You don't have to force them away. In fact, trying to force thoughts away often creates more mental activity. But allowing thoughts to be part of the wave, noticing them, letting them pass, allowing the quiet wave to follow, works with your natural rhythm. Another fundamental wave is the oscillation between alertness and drowsiness, between being quite awake and being quite close to sleep. You might lie here and notice periods where you feel quite alert. Your mind is clear. You're aware of everything. You might even think, I'm completely awake. I'll never fall asleep. This is one wave. It's temporary. It will pass. Then you might notice drowsiness washing over you, your thoughts becoming fuzzy, your awareness diffusing, the feeling that sleep is very close. This is the other wave, and it might not immediately become sleep. It might retreat, and another wave of alertness might come. This back and forth between alertness and drowsiness is normal. It's part of the rhythm. Each wave of drowsiness brings you a bit closer. Each wave of alertness becomes a bit less intense. If you don't understand this rhythm, the return of alertness can be frustrating. I was almost asleep. Now I'm awake again. But this is just the wave. Another wave of drowsiness will come. The sleep researchers call this sleep pressure building. Each wave of drowsiness increases the pressure towards sleep. Eventually, the drowsiness wave doesn't retreat. It carries you into actual sleep. Your body produces waves of sensation as it transitions towards sleep. Some sensations might seem strange if you don't recognize them as part of the rhythm. You might feel heaviness washing through your body in waves, First your legs feel heavy, then your arms, then your whole torso. This is your body releasing into rest, wave by wave. Or you might feel tingling, or warmth, or coolness, or a sense of floating or falling. All of these are normal sensations that can occur as your nervous system shifts states. Sometimes called hypnagogic phenomena, these sensations are your body's way of transitioning. They're waves of neurological shift. Completely normal. Actually good signs that you're moving towards sleep. You might also experience hypnic jerks, sudden muscle twitches, or the sensation of falling that jolts you more awake. These too are part of the rhythm. Your muscles releasing tension sometimes creates these twitches. When you understand these sensations as waves, as normal parts of the rhythm, you don't get alarmed by them. You can notice them, allow them, let the rhythm continue. Some waves of sensation might be pleasant, warmth, softness, floating. Some might be neutral or even slightly uncomfortable, tingling, heaviness, jerking. All are okay. All are temporary. All are waves. Your breathing also moves in waves as you transition towards sleep. The rhythm of breath changes, becoming slower, deeper, sometimes more irregular. When awake, your breath has one rhythm, usually fairly regular, somewhat conscious. As you relax, it might deepen. Then as you get drowsy, it might slow. Sometimes your breath might become very quiet and subtle. Other times it might suddenly deepen with a big sigh. These are all waves of breath rhythm changing. In actual sleep, breathing rhythm changes even more. In light sleep, it's regular and slow. In deep sleep, even slower. In REM sleep, it can become irregular, sometimes faster, matching the dream activity. You don't have to control your breath rhythm. It changes naturally as part of the overall rhythm of moving towards sleep. You can observe it. Notice how it changes. Let it be part of the wave. Sometimes just noticing your breath can help you recognize what wave you're in. Fast and shallow might mean a wave of alertness or tension. Slow and deep might mean a wave of relaxation or drowsiness. But even breath rhythm isn't linear. It doesn't just get slower and slower until you sleep. It waves. It cycles. Some breaths deeper, some shallower, some faster, some slower. all part of the natural rhythm. Something interesting happens to your sense of time as you move through the waves towards sleep. Time perception itself becomes wave-like. Sometimes minutes might feel very long. You're aware of each moment. Time seems to drag. This often happens in waves of alertness or mental activity. Other times, you might lose track of time entirely. Minutes pass without your awareness. You might think only seconds have gone by when actually 10 minutes passed. This often happens in waves of drowsiness. And sometimes you might even microsleep, brief moments of actual sleep that last just seconds but feel either like no time or like much longer time. These shifts in time perception are themselves waves. Your experience of duration contracts and expands. This is normal. It's actually a sign you're moving through the stages towards sleep. When you don't understand this, you might get frustrated. I've been lying here forever and I'm still awake. But your perception of forever might be skewed. And even if it's been a while, that's okay. The rhythm takes as long as it takes. Accepting that time perception waves, sometimes feeling long, sometimes feeling short, helps you release the urgency. You're not trying to rush the rhythm. You're allowing it to unfold in its own time. Here's something fascinating. Your body naturally moves through approximately 90 to 120-minute cycles throughout the day and night. These are called ultradian rhythms. During the day, these rhythms create natural fluctuations in alertness. You might feel more energized for a while, then naturally more tired, then energized again, wave after wave throughout the day. At night, these same ultradian rhythms create your sleep cycles. You move through light sleep, deep sleep, and REM in roughly 90-minute waves. First cycle, second cycle, third, all night long. And even as you're falling asleep, you're entering the first of these cycles, the beginning of the wave, moving from wake into light sleep, then potentially deeper. Understanding this larger rhythm helps you trust that even if you don't fall asleep immediately, you're entering a natural 90-minute cycle. You're at the beginning of a wave that will carry you through multiple stages. And if you happen to wake briefly after 90 minutes, that's just the transition between cycles. Another wave beginning. This is normal. This is the natural rhythm. Here's something beautiful. Waves nest. You have large waves and small waves, all moving together. The large wave is the overall transition from wake to sleep. This might take 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. One big wave moving you from fully awake to fully asleep. But within that large wave, there are medium waves, the oscillations between tension and release, thought and quiet, alertness and drowsiness. These might cycle every few minutes. And within those medium waves, there are small waves, individual breaths, individual thoughts arising and passing, individual moments of sensation. These cycle moment by moment. All these waves, large, medium, small, are happening simultaneously, nested within each other, all part of the overall rhythm carrying you towards sleep. You don't have to track all the waves. You don't have to understand exactly which level you're experiencing. You just have to trust that all these rhythms are working together, all moving in the direction of rest. Like the ocean has waves of different sizes, small ripples, medium swells, large tides, all moving together. Your body has rhythms of different scales, all coordinating to bring you into sleep. Emotions also move in waves. This is important to understand because emotions often arise as you try to rest. You might feel waves of anxiety. The anxiety rises, peaks, then subsides, then rises again. This is normal. This is emotional rhythm. Or you might feel waves of sadness, grief that comes and goes, not constant, but rhythmic. Or waves of frustration. Why can't I just sleep? The frustration surges, then eases, then surges again. When you don't understand that emotions wave, you might think something's wrong. I keep feeling anxious. It won't go away. But emotions don't go away permanently. They wave. They come and go. Even the same emotion, anxiety, sadness, frustration, will rise and fall multiple times. And this is actually healthy. Emotions are meant to move. The word emotion comes from the Latin movere, to move. Emotions that don't wave, that stay stuck, become problematic. When an emotional wave comes, anxiety, sadness, frustration, the practice is the same as with other waves. Allow it. Don't try to stop the emotion. Don't judge yourself for feeling it. Just notice, a wave of anxiety is here. Let yourself feel it. Be with it. It's temporary. It's a wave. It will crest and recede. And when it recedes, when the anxiety eases for a moment, don't cling to the relief. Don't think finally, it's gone forever. Just notice, the wave receded. Another might come. This allows you to be with difficult emotions without being overwhelmed by them, because you know they're waves. They come, they go. They're not permanent. Certain emotions tend to wave more intensely at night. This is partly biological. Your defenses are lower when you're tired, and partly circumstantial. You're alone with your thoughts in the dark. Anxiety often waves at night. Worries that seemed manageable during the day feel overwhelming at bedtime. This is the wave of nighttime anxiety. Sadness or grief often waves at night too. The quiet creates space for feelings you've been pushing aside all day. This is the wave of nighttime sorrow. Loneliness can wave. Regret can wave. Even joy or excitement can wave and make sleep difficult. Understanding that these emotional intensifications are waves helps. They're not permanent. They're the nighttime version of emotions that exist more quietly during the day. And often, these emotional waves settle as part of the larger wave pattern towards sleep. You feel the emotion, it crests, it recedes, and in its wake, you're a bit more relaxed. So emotional waves aren't obstacles to sleep. They're part of the rhythm, part of what your system needs to process before it can fully rest. Not all emotional waves are difficult. You might also experience waves of peace, of contentment, of gentle happiness. These positive emotional waves are equally temporary. They come, they bring a moment of ease, they recede. When a wave of peace comes, enjoy it, but lightly, without grasping, knowing it's a wave, beautiful while it's here, and that's enough. Sometimes people resist positive emotions at bedtime. I shouldn't feel happy. I should feel sleepy. But positive emotions can be part of the rhythm towards sleep too. A wave of gratitude might arise, a wave of love for someone, a wave of contentment with the day. Let these waves be. They're part of the settling. As you move towards sleep, emotional waves often integrate. They blend. Sharp emotions soften. Difficult emotions become more bearable. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about the natural settling that happens as your nervous system regulates. The wave of anxiety might still arise, but it's gentler. The wave of sadness might still come, but it's more peaceful. The emotions remain, but their character changes. This is the gift of allowing emotional waves as part of the larger rhythm. You don't fight them. You don't amplify them. You just let them be part of the wave pattern. And gradually, as the overall tide moves towards sleep, the emotional waves become part of the gentle rocking that carries you into rest. All the waves we've been discussing, tension, thought, drowsiness, ride on a larger foundational wave, your circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is your body's master clock, a roughly 24-hour cycle that governs when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. This isn't just a feeling or preference. It's biological, driven by a cluster of cells deep in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your internal timekeeper. And this circadian wave influences everything. Your body temperature rises and falls across the day. Your hormone levels wave up and down. Your alertness cycles, all following the circadian pattern. Understanding this master rhythm helps you trust the smaller waves. Because even when moment-to-moment waves feel chaotic, they're all riding on this larger, reliable 24-hour cycle. Your circadian rhythm creates a natural dip in alertness in the evening, usually starting a few hours before your habitual bedtime. During this circadian dip, several things happen. Melatonin starts rising in your bloodstream. Your core body temperature begins dropping. Adenosine, the sleepiness chemical, reaches its peak. This evening dip is a large wave. And all the smaller waves we've discussed, drowsiness, muscle release, thought slowing, become easier during this circadian window. If you try to sleep outside your circadian sleep window, too early or in the middle of the day, all the smaller waves have to work against the circadian tide. Sleep is much harder. But when you're in your natural evening dip, the circadian tide is moving towards sleep. All the smaller waves ride it more smoothly. the rhythm aligns. So part of trusting the rhythm is honoring your circadian timing. Going to bed when your body is actually ready for sleep, not just when you think you should sleep. Your circadian rhythm is set primarily by light exposure. Light tells your brain what time it is in the 24-hour cycle. Bright light in the morning advances your rhythm, helps you wake earlier and feel sleepy earlier at night. Bright light in the evening delays your rhythm, pushes sleep later. And darkness signals sleep time. When your eyes perceive darkness, your brain releases melatonin, initiating the circadian shift towards sleep. But artificial light, especially blue light from screens, tells your brain it's still daytime. So late-night screen use fights against your circadian rhythm's evening dip. This is why dimming lights in the evening supports the natural wave towards sleep. You're not just creating a relaxing mood. You're supporting your circadian biology. Sometimes circadian rhythms get disrupted. Shift work, jet lag, irregular schedules, too much evening light. When your circadian foundation is unstable, all the smaller waves become more chaotic. Your body doesn't know when it should be alert and when it should sleep. This doesn't mean sleep is impossible, but it means you might need more patience, more waves, more time for the rhythm to settle. Your body is trying to recalibrate, trying to re-establish the circadian foundation. And that takes time, takes consistent cues, darkness at night, bright light in morning, regular sleep timing. So if your sleep feels very disrupted, consider, is my circadian rhythm confused? And if so, the solution isn't just about tonight's waves. It's about gradually re-establishing the 24-hour foundation. Here's something important. Not everyone has the same circadian timing. Some people are naturally morning larks. They wake early naturally and feel sleepy early in the evening. Others are night owls. They naturally stay up late and wake later in the morning. Their circadian rhythm runs on a later schedule. Neither is better or worse. Both are biological. And when you try to force your schedule against your natural chronotype, sleep becomes harder. So part of working with circadian waves is knowing your natural pattern. Are you a lark or owl? What's your body's actual rhythm? Not what schedule you wish you had. Honoring your chronotype, sleeping and waking at your natural times makes all the waves flow more smoothly. Here's what's reassuring. Your circadian rhythm is constant. Even on a difficult night when sleep won't come, your 24-hour cycle continues. Tomorrow evening, your circadian system will create another dip towards sleep. The next night, another. The rhythm doesn't give up on you. This is different from moment-to-moment waves that feel unpredictable. The circadian wave is reliable. It cycles every 24 hours, creating opportunity for sleep. So even when individual waves feel chaotic tonight, you can trust the circadian foundation. It's still there, still cycling, still creating conditions for sleep. And knowing this can ease difficult nights. You might not sleep well tonight, but your circadian rhythm will continue. Tomorrow night, it gives you another chance. The foundation remains. Now let's explore the biological mechanisms. What's actually happening in your body during these waves? Your autonomic nervous system has two main branches that work like a seesaw: sympathetic, activation, and parasympathetic, rest. During the day, sympathetic tone is higher. You're alert, active, responsive. During the night, parasympathetic tone should be higher. You're calm, restful, recovering. The transition from sympathetic dominance to parasympathetic dominance doesn't happen instantly. It happens through oscillation, through waves. Sympathetic decreases, then might spike briefly, then decreases more. Parasympathetic increases, then might dip, then increases more. Back and forth, wave by wave, until parasympathetic becomes dominant. This is why you might feel waves of activation even while trying to rest. Your sympathetic system is still waving, still occasionally surging, but the overall trend is toward parasympathetic dominance. Understanding this helps you not panic when you feel a wave of alertness or anxiety. It's just your sympathetic system having one more surge. The next wave will move more toward rest. And you can support this shift by creating conditions that favor parasympathetic activation: darkness, quiet, stillness, slow breathing. These don't force the shift. They support the natural rhythm. Your brain produces electrical waves at different frequencies for different states of consciousness. These waves literally ripple through your brain. Beta waves, 13 to 30 Hz alert, active thinking. This is your normal waking state. Alpha waves, 8 to 13 Hz relaxed but awake. This is the bridge state. Theta waves, 4 to 8 Hz drowsy, dreamlike. This is the doorway to sleep. Delta waves, 0.5 to 4 Hz deep sleep. This is where restoration happens. As you fall asleep, your brain waves don't suddenly jump from beta to delta. They transition gradually, in waves, through each stage. You might have periods of alpha, then spike back to beta, then more alpha, then some theta, then back to alpha, then deeper theta. The pattern waves between frequencies, gradually shifting towards slower waves. This is literal. Your brain is producing waves of different frequencies, and these waves are transitioning, oscillating, gradually changing pattern. It's not metaphor. It's measurable electrical activity. When you feel almost asleep, then suddenly alert, your brain waves just shifted from theta back to beta for a moment. When you feel drowsy again, they're shifting back toward theta. Wave after wave, frequency by frequency. This happens automatically. You don't control brainwave frequency directly, but your state, relaxed, tense, active, restful, influences which waves your brain produces. The waves are also chemical. Different neurotransmitters rise and fall in rhythmic patterns. Adenosine builds throughout the day, creating sleep pressure. But it doesn't increase in a straight line. It pulses, waves, with overall upward trend. Melatonin rises in the evening, signaling sleep time. But its release isn't smooth. It comes in pulses, in waves, fluctuating while trending upward. Cortisol, stress hormone, should decrease at night. But it waves downward, with occasional spikes, gradually settling lower. GABA, calming neurotransmitter, increases for rest, but in waves, in pulses, in rhythmic releases. All these chemicals interact, creating complex wave patterns. When one surges, another responds. When one dips, another adjusts. The overall orchestration moves you towards sleep. You feel these chemical waves as waves of sleepiness and alertness, calm and activation, heaviness and lightness. but you're feeling the combined effect of multiple chemicals waving in complex patterns. Your muscles also move through waves of tension and release as you transition to sleep. Throughout the day, your muscles maintain tone, a baseline level of tension that keeps you upright, alert, ready to move. This tone needs to decrease for sleep. But muscles don't release all at once. They release in waves, layer by layer, group by group. First, larger postural muscles might begin to release, the muscles that hold you upright. You feel this as heaviness, sinking into the bed. Then smaller muscles, around the eyes, the jaw, the hands. Each group releasing in its own time, in its own wave. Sometimes a muscle will release partially, then retense briefly, then release more deeply. This is the muscle learning to let go. It's not failure when tension returns. It's part of the release pattern. And sometimes you'll experience myoclonic jerks, sudden twitches, or the sensation of falling. These are waves of neuromuscular discharge, your nervous system releasing accumulated tension. Normal, healthy, part of the rhythm. Your heart rate also waves as you move towards sleep, specifically through heart rate variability, HRV, the variation in time between heartbeats. High HRV actually indicates good nervous system health. It means your heart can flexibly speed and slow in response to breath and other rhythms. As you relax, HRV typically increases. Your heart rate slows overall, but the variability, the wave-like quality, increases. This is parasympathetic engagement. You might feel this as your heart rhythm becoming more noticeable, more rhythmic, more connected to your breath. This is good. This is your heart moving in waves. If you're anxious, HRV decreases. Your heart rhythm becomes rigid, less wave-like. But as you relax, as parasympathetic tone increases, the wave returns. Your heart finds its rhythm again. Your core body temperature must drop slightly for sleep to occur. But this doesn't happen in a straight line. It waves. Your temperature drops a bit, plateaus, drops a bit more, might even rise briefly, then drops again. Wavy descent toward the sleep-optimal temperature. Blood vessels in your extremities dilate to release heat from your core. This happens in waves too. You might feel warmth in your hands and feet, then less, then more. Temperature regulation waving. And this continues throughout the night. Different sleep stages have different optimal temperatures. Your body continues temperature waves all night long. If you feel waves of warmth and coolness, that's your body regulating. Don't fight it. Let the temperature waves move through. They're part of the system finding its optimal state. Here's what's remarkable. All these systems are coordinating their waves. Autonomic nervous system, brain waves, neurotransmitters, muscle tone, heart rate, temperature, all waving, all transitioning, all coordinating with each other. Sometimes they're synchronized, everything releasing together, creating a powerful wave of relaxation. These are the moments when you feel significantly more relaxed, more drowsy, closer to sleep. Sometimes they're out of sync, one system releasing while another is activated. These are the confusing moments. I feel physically relaxed but mentally alert, or I feel drowsy but my body feels tense. But gradually, through the wave pattern, these systems find their rhythm together. They entrain. They synchronize. And when they all align toward rest, that's when sleep comes. You don't orchestrate this. Your body knows how. These systems have been coordinating since you were born. Your job is just to allow the natural coordination to happen. By not fighting the waves, by not resisting the rhythm, you let these systems do what they already know how to do, work together to bring you into sleep. All the waves we've discussed, muscle tension, thoughts, emotions, neurotransmitters, ride on a foundational wave, your circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is your body's master clock, a roughly 24-hour cycle that governs when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. This rhythm is biological. It's driven by a cluster of cells in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your body's clock headquarters. And this circadian wave influences everything. Your body temperature waves across the day. Your hormone levels wave. Your alertness waves. All following the circadian pattern. Understanding this master rhythm helps you trust the smaller waves. Because even if individual waves feel chaotic, they're all riding on this larger, reliable 24-hour wave. Your circadian rhythm creates a natural dip in alertness in the evening. This is when your body wants to sleep. For most people, this dip begins a few hours before their habitual bedtime. Melatonin starts rising. Body temperature starts dropping. Sleep pressure starts building. This circadian dip is a large wave, and all the smaller waves, drowsiness, muscle relaxation, thought slowing, become easier during this dip. If you try to sleep outside your circadian dip, too early in the evening, or in the middle of the day, the smaller waves have to work against the circadian tide. Sleep is harder. But when you're in your natural circadian dip, all the waves align. The circadian tide is moving towards sleep, and the smaller waves ride it more easily. So part of trusting the rhythm is honoring your circadian rhythm. Going to bed when your body is actually ready for sleep, not when you think you should sleep. Sometimes circadian rhythms get disrupted. Shift work, jet lag, irregular schedules, screens late at night. When your circadian rhythm is disrupted, all the smaller waves become more chaotic. Sleep is harder because the foundation is unstable. This doesn't mean sleep is impossible. It means you might need more waves, more time, more patience for the rhythm to settle. Your body is trying to recalibrate, trying to re-establish the circadian foundation. And that takes time, takes consistent cues, darkness at night, light in morning, regular sleep times. So if your sleep rhythm feels very disrupted, it might be circadian. And the solution isn't just about tonight's waves. It's about gradually re-establishing the 24-hour foundation. Light is the most powerful circadian cue. It tells your brain what time it is in the day-night cycle. Bright light in the morning advances your circadian rhythm, helps you wake earlier and sleep earlier. Bright light in the evening delays your rhythm, pushes sleep later. And darkness signals sleep time. When your eyes perceive darkness, your brain releases melatonin, starting the circadian shift towards sleep. But screens emit blue light, which your brain interprets as daylight. So late-night screen time tells your circadian system, it's not sleep time yet. This is why reducing light in the evening supports the natural circadian wave towards sleep. You're not fighting your biology, you're supporting it. Here's what's reassuring about circadian rhythm. It's constant. It continues even when sleep is difficult. Even on a night when you can't sleep, your circadian rhythm continues its 24-hour cycle. Tomorrow night, it will create another dip towards sleep. The rhythm doesn't give up. This is different from the moment-to-moment waves we've been discussing. Those waves can feel unpredictable, but the circadian wave is reliable. So even when individual waves feel chaotic, you can trust the circadian foundation. It's still there, still cycling, still creating the conditions for sleep every 24 hours. And this can help on difficult nights. You might not sleep well tonight, but your circadian rhythm will continue. Tomorrow night, it will give you another opportunity. The foundation remains. Part of trusting the body's rhythm is discovering your personal circadian pattern. Are you naturally a morning person or evening person? When does your body naturally want to sleep? Some people have circadian rhythms that run early. They naturally wake at dawn and sleep early in the evening. Some run late. They naturally stay up late and wake later in the morning. Neither is better. Both are biological. And when you try to force your schedule against your natural circadian rhythm, sleep becomes harder. So part of working with waves is honoring your circadian wave. Sleeping when your body is ready, not when culture or obligation demands. This isn't always possible, but even understanding your natural rhythm, knowing whether you're fighting against it, helps you have realistic expectations and more patience with the waves. Once you actually fall asleep, the waves don't stop. Sleep itself moves in waves, the sleep cycle stages. Sleep researchers identify several distinct stages: N1, light sleep; N2, slightly deeper sleep; N3, deep slow wave sleep; and REM, rapid eye movement sleep, where vivid dreaming occurs. These stages aren't random. They follow a wave pattern, cycling throughout the night in roughly 90-minute waves. Understanding this helps you trust the rhythm even after you fall asleep. Because sleep isn't one static state. It's multiple states waving through the night. And knowing this wave pattern can help if you wake during the night. Because brief awakenings between cycles are completely normal. They're part of the wave pattern, not sleep failure. When you first fall asleep, you enter the first sleep cycle. You move from wake into N1, very light sleep, easy to wake from, lasting just a few minutes. then into N2, still light but more consolidated. You're truly asleep now but would wake relatively easily. This lasts 10 to 25 minutes in the first cycle. Then, if conditions support it, into N3, deep slow wave sleep. Your brain produces large, slow delta waves. This is restorative sleep, hard to wake from. This might last 20 to 40 minutes in the first cycle. Then you transition back toward lighter sleep, eventually into the first REM period. Early in the night, REM is brief, maybe 10 minutes. Your brain becomes active, your eyes move rapidly, you might dream vividly. Then the cycle completes, and you might briefly wake or enter very light sleep before the second cycle begins. This entire first cycle, N1 to N2 to N3 back toward light sleep to REM, takes about 90 minutes. One complete wave through the sleep stages. The second cycle begins, and you wave through the stages again, but the proportions change. As the night progresses, you spend less time in deep N3 sleep and more time in REM. The early cycles are heavy on deep sleep. The later cycles are heavy on REM. So if you sleep for 7 to 8 hours, you'll complete 4 to 5 complete sleep cycles. Each cycle a wave, each wave taking you through different depths of sleep. And between cycles, you might briefly wake. These micro-awakenings are normal. They're the transitions between waves. Most people don't even remember them. But sometimes you do wake more fully between cycles. And if you understand this is just the wave pattern, just the transition between sleep cycles, you don't panic. You know, this is the space between waves. Another wave of sleep is coming. Just like the waves that brought you into sleep, waves will carry you back. Understanding sleep stages helps you trust the initial transition into sleep. Because you're not trying to immediately drop into deep sleep. You're just trying to enter the first stage, N1, very light sleep. And N1 is close to waking. It's that drowsy, fuzzy, drifting state. You might not even recognize you're asleep. It feels like being on the edge. But that's the doorway. That's the first wave. Once you're in N1, your body can naturally progress through the rest of the cycle. So you're not trying to achieve some deep, unconscious state immediately. You're just allowing the first light wave, and then your body knows what to do with the rest. Even waking up in the morning follows a wave pattern. You don't jump instantly from deep sleep to full alertness. Usually, you wake from light sleep or REM at the end of a cycle. Your brain has already started waving toward wakefulness. Then you have that groggy period, sleep inertia, where you're technically awake but not fully alert. This can last a few minutes or even 20 to 30 minutes. This morning wave, from sleep to drowsy waking to full alertness, is another transition rhythm. Not instant, but gradual. Understanding this can help you be patient with morning grogginess. It's not that you slept poorly, it's that you're in the waking wave, moving from sleep toward full alertness. So sleep itself is waves, cycles of light and deep, of calm and active REM, of one stage flowing into the next. Even once asleep, your brain and body are waving, not static, not one unchanging state, but dynamic, cycling, rhythmic. Knowing this helps you trust that sleep, once it begins, will take care of itself. You don't have to maintain sleep consciously. The waves will continue on their own. Your job is just to allow the first wave, the transition into light sleep. Then your body's natural rhythm takes over, waving through the night in its ancient, reliable pattern. Now we move into direct practice. How do you actually work with these waves? The first practice is simply noticing which wave you're in without judgment. Right now, what wave are you experiencing? Tension or release? Mental activity or quiet? Alertness or drowsiness? Just notice. Don't make it mean anything about you. Don't judge whether it's the right wave. Just observe. This is the current wave. When you can observe without judging, you create space. You're not identified with the wave. You're witnessing it. And from that witness position, you can recognize this wave is temporary. Try this now. Notice the current wave. And instead of thinking I should be more relaxed or why am I so tense, just notice this is the wave that's here. This neutral noticing is profound. It stops the resistance. It stops the fighting. You're allowing the wave to be what it is. Waves have a natural arc. They rise, peak, fall. When you try to interrupt a wave at its peak, you create resistance. If you're in a wave of tension, don't immediately try to force it away. Allow it to be there. Stay with it for a moment. And notice, is the tension intensifying or beginning to ease? Is it at its peak or starting its natural decline? Often, when you stop fighting the tension and just allow it, you notice it's already beginning to recede. The wave was already starting its natural arc downward. Same with thoughts. If you're in a wave of mental activity, don't immediately battle the thoughts. Notice them, allow them, and watch. Are they already beginning to slow? This is a profound shift. From trying to stop waves to allowing them to complete their natural arc. From controlling to witnessing. From forcing to allowing. And what you'll discover is that waves complete themselves. They don't need your intervention. They just need your non-interference. Your breath can be a tool for harmonizing with the waves, not controlling them. Notice your breath right now. Just observe it. What's its natural rhythm? Now, gently, without force, see if you can allow the exhale to be just slightly longer than the inhale. Not dramatically, just a gentle extension of the out-breath. Breathe in naturally, then exhale slowly, fully, completely. Pause briefly at the bottom, then inhale naturally again. This gentle pattern, natural inhale, extended exhale, brief pause, supports the parasympathetic system. It rides the wave toward rest without forcing anything. And notice, as you breathe this way, you're creating a rhythm, a wave pattern. And your other systems can entrain to this rhythm, can synchronize with this wave. But if this breathing feels forced or creates tension, stop. Just return to natural breath. The breath should support the rhythm, not fight it. Instead of systematically tensing and releasing each body part, you can work with whatever wave is present. Notice where tension is showing up right now. Maybe shoulders, maybe jaw, maybe belly or hands or feet. That tension is one wave. Don't try to force it away. Just bring gentle attention to it. Breathe into that area. And notice, does bringing attention create any softening, even the smallest bit? If so, that's the wave of release beginning. If not, if the tension stays, that's okay too. The release wave hasn't arrived yet. Just keep breathing, keep allowing. It will come. Then notice another area. Maybe a different wave of tension there. Same process. Attention, breath, allowing. No forcing. You're surfing the waves of tension and release, not creating them, not controlling them, just noticing them and allowing them to move. Thoughts are waves too. They arise, exist for a time, pass away. Like clouds moving across the sky. A thought appears. Instead of grabbing it and elaborating, or pushing it away and fighting it, just notice a thought. Let it exist in your awareness without doing anything about it. It's just a wave. It will pass on its own. Another thought might appear. Same response, a thought. Just noticing, not engaging, not fighting. Between thoughts, there might be space, quiet. Notice that too, but don't try to make the space longer. Just let the natural rhythm of thoughts and spaces unfold. As you practice this, thought waves naturally slow. Not because you're controlling them, but because you're not feeding them with attention and elaboration. The waves continue, but they become gentler, slower, more spacious. The natural rhythm carrying you towards sleep. When drowsiness comes, this is a crucial moment. Don't grab at it. Don't try to force yourself into sleep. Just ride it. Feel the drowsiness. Notice its quality. Let yourself be in it without trying to deepen it or make it stay. You're like a surfer on a wave. You're on it, moving with it, but you're not controlling where it goes. It's carrying you. And if the wave of drowsiness recedes, if you feel more alert again, don't panic. Don't think you've lost your chance. Just notice, the wave receded. Another will come. This is essential. The return of alertness doesn't mean failure. It means you're in the recession part of the wave. The next crest will come. Each wave of drowsiness builds sleep pressure. Even if it retreats, you're closer than you were. The rhythm is working. So you ride each wave of drowsiness lightly. When it comes, you're with it. When it goes, you let it go, trusting the next wave. Sometimes you'll notice resistance to the waves. Your mind fighting the rhythm, wanting instant results, judging the process. This resistance is itself a wave. You don't have to fight the resistance. Just notice it. A wave of resistance. The resistance will pass too. It's not permanent. It's just another wave moving through. And often, when you stop resisting the resistance, when you allow even the resistance to be part of the wave, it loosens. It softens. So you're not trying to be perfectly accepting. You're allowing whatever's here, including the waves of not accepting. All of it part of the rhythm. Ultimately, riding the waves is about allowing, not passive giving up, but active allowing, conscious permission for what is. This wave of tension, allowed. This wave of thought, allowed. This wave of alertness, allowed. This wave of drowsiness, allowed. You're not making them happen. You're not stopping them from happening. You're just allowing the natural rhythm to unfold. And in this allowing, in this non-resistance, the rhythm flows more smoothly. The waves move more naturally. Sleep becomes more accessible. So the practice is simple. Allow the wave that's here. Then allow the next wave. And the next. Wave by wave, breath by breath, moment by moment. Finally, we explore trust. How do you learn to trust this rhythm? Your body has been doing this rhythm your entire life. Every single night you've ever slept, you moved through waves to get there. Even the difficult nights, even the nights it took hours, the waves eventually carried you to sleep. The rhythm worked. So you have evidence. Empirical proof. Your body knows how to do this. It doesn't need your conscious intervention. It needs your non-interference. When you doubt, will I ever fall asleep? Remember, you have fallen asleep every other night of your life. The waves have always worked. They'll work tonight too. This remembering can help you trust, not blind faith, but evidence-based trust. Your body has earned your trust through consistent results. Trust requires letting go of control over when and how sleep comes. You can't dictate which wave will carry you across the threshold. The mind wants to know, how much longer? When will it happen? Will it be soon? But sleep doesn't work on demand. It comes when the rhythm brings it. Surrendering the outcome means, I don't know when. I can't control when. But I trust the waves are carrying me there. This surrender isn't passive. It's an active choice to trust process over outcome, to trust rhythm over timeline, to trust that your body knows what it's doing. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to control when sleep comes, it often comes more easily, because the trying was creating resistance. You might have unconscious timelines. I should be asleep by now. This is taking too long. I only have X hours before I need to wake up. These timelines create pressure, and pressure activates your sympathetic system, which works against sleep. Can you release the timeline? Can you accept that sleep takes as long as it takes? That your body's rhythm tonight might be faster or slower than other nights? When you notice timeline pressure, it's been 30 minutes already. Can you let that go? Can you return to just being with this current wave, without needing to know how many more waves there will be? Releasing the timeline is releasing urgency, and without urgency, the rhythm flows more smoothly. You can support the waves, but you can't force them. This is the essential paradox. You can create conditions, darkness, quiet, stillness. You can work with your breath. You can notice and allow. These support the rhythm. But you can't make sleep happen. You can't force the waves to move faster. You can't control the outcome through sheer will. The difference is subtle. Effort that supports says, I'm doing what I can, then allowing. Effort that forces says, I will make this happen. Trust means knowing this difference, offering what support you can, then releasing control, allowing the rhythm to do its work. Trust manifests as patience, the willingness to let the rhythm take its time. This goes against cultural conditioning. But bodies work on biological time, not cultural time. And biological time moves in rhythms, not in instant results. Can you be patient with your own rhythm? Can you allow the waves to move at their own pace? Patience doesn't mean you like waiting. It means you're not fighting the waiting. You're accepting, this is how long it's taking. And that's okay. And patience itself comes in waves. Sometimes you'll feel patient, sometimes impatient. Both are okay. Both are waves in the larger rhythm. As you practice trusting the rhythm, be kind to yourself when it's hard. Some nights the waves are smooth and easy. Some nights they're choppy and difficult. Neither says anything about you. Both are just the rhythm that night. Can you meet yourself with compassion? This is a hard night. The waves are taking longer. And I'm still here, still allowing, still doing my best. Self-compassion doesn't change the waves, but it stops you from adding suffering to difficulty. Difficulty is the challenging rhythm. Suffering is judging yourself for the challenging rhythm. So when trust is hard, when patience is hard, when allowing is hard, be kind to yourself. You're learning. You're practicing. That's enough. Ultimately, trust is a decision. Each wave, you decide, I'm going to trust this rhythm. Not because you're certain it will work perfectly, but because trust is more restful than resistance. Allowing is easier than fighting. So you decide, wave by wave, this wave, I trust. The next wave, I'll decide again. And gradually, through repeated decision, trust becomes more natural, not automatic, but easier, because you're building a new pattern. A pattern of trusting your body's wisdom instead of fighting it, of allowing the rhythm instead of demanding instant results. And this trust, this practice of allowing, is itself restful. Even before sleep comes, you're resting in trust. And that rest makes sleep more accessible. And so we arrive here, in the waves, in the rhythm, in the natural unfolding. If these gentle journeys are meaningful to you, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a reflection below. It helps other restless minds find their way here. But for now, just rest. Feel the rhythm now. The waves moving through you. Tension and release. Thought and quiet. Alertness and drowsiness. All natural. All temporary. All part of the pattern that's carrying you towards sleep. You don't have to do anything. The waves are doing their work. Your body knows this rhythm. Just feel it. Notice it. Allow it. The waves are carrying you now. Each breath is a wave. Each sensation is a wave. Each moment is a wave. All of these waves moving you towards sleep. Gradually, gently, in the body's own time. You're being carried, like floating in gentle swells, up and down, rocked by the rhythm. You don't have to swim, you don't have to fight, just float. Let the waves hold you. As the waves continue, you begin to dissolve. Boundaries soften. Where one wave ends and another begins becomes less clear. The waves start to blend, merge, become one rhythm. You're not trying to make this happen. It's happening naturally, as the rhythm deepens. Just allow this dissolving, this softening, this merging into the rhythm. Let the waves carry you deeper. Deeper into the rhythm. Into the natural unfolding. Wave after wave. Pause. 35 seconds. Carrying you. Towards sleep. In their own time. In their own rhythm. Trust the waves. Trust the rhythm. Let yourself be carried. Wave by wave. Deeper. And deeper. The rhythm knows. Your body knows. Just allow. Wave after wave. I'll see you soon. May your rest be deep. And your dreams be gentle.